All right, everybody. So I am gearing up. I'm kind of unpacking and repacking as I unpack for whitetail and pack for mule deer. And so we're going to go up to Alberta and spend time with my buddy Jeff Lander, who's the outfitter in this area, Primitive Outfitting. And Jeff started as a client. He has 2 dogs for me and trained both those dogs. And he's one of those guys that started as a client and has turned into a great friend. So I wanted to go up to Jeff and mule deer hunt for a long time. So I'm really, really stoked to actually have the opportunity to do that. So as I'm getting my stuff together, I just thought it might be kind of cool to go over some of the gear that I'm using right now, because I really didn't do this, or talk about this when we talked about Lake 10. But now kind of have a time that I have a little chill time as I'm packing back up, and thought about it. So I am going not only with Jeff, but I'm also going to be with my buddy B-Mac from Hush and my buddy Matty Davis from Final Rise and also Mountain Ops. So Matt and I actually met. We were working a show. He was working for Mountain Ops and I was working for Sport Dog. So it's been really fun watching us kind of grow up together in this, and just kind of go through and where we're at today. He's crushing it with Final Rise and a lot of cool things there. So anyway, I wanted to go over quickly just kind of like my setup here. So this is the bow that I'm shooting this year. This is the Hoyt RX7. And I really like this bow so far. I mean, I've obviously one really big reason to like it, but hopefully 2 big reasons after this trip. But something that a lot of people don't know is that I actually started, as my first couple of jobs I had out of high school was I worked in archery shops, and it's something I'm very passionate about. I love it. I think it's therapeutic to work on a bow, and the first bow I ever had was a Hoyt, and so this is my first Hoyt since then. But I really, really like it. I wasn't a big brand guy up to this point. Like, it was really whatever the shop was kind of pushing is what you would end up shooting. So I've shot, Bear, I've shot Expedition, I've shot Matthews. Bows nowadays, they're just so great. The technology's come so far. But I really do like this bow a lot. But a couple things that are on this right now that I think are kind of noteworthy is, first off, the Sitka sling. And I know that that's not on the bow, but it's on the bow. But we're going to be doing a bunch of walking. And so having that sling to where I can just sling it over my back and not have to actually physically lug it around, I think is going to be really advantageous. I do use this sling going in and out of stands as far as whitetail sets go. But this will be, I think, way more advantageous to have in the situation we're going to be in. And then if we do get into a situation where it's a quick kind of stock, it's just simply, boom, and we're off. And obviously this cover would be on. It's actually kind of neat that this cover is here to help protect that sight as we travel. But it's just really quick on and off, and then I've got my bow completely free and ready to use. So love this setup. The one thing that is going to be a little different for me is I'm really not a quiver guy. Don't like the extra weight. Don't like having that on in a whitetail situation. But I do understand why to have it in the situation that I'm going to be in here with the spot and stock and more the Western style hunting. So it's going to be a little different. I have been shooting a bunch with it on just because it is going to be different. But this will be kind of the new thing that I have to kind of mentally deal with here on this trip. So, and then I'm shooting these Valkyrie broadheads. So this is something that my buddy B-Mac said, you got to start shooting these. And so far, I really, really like them. They are pretty slammer heads. And so they're heavy, between this 150 head and the insert system and my arrows that I'm shooting, which are the Eastern Axis arrows, I'm shooting about 550 grains, so that's a pretty heavy arrow. I really am a big kinetic energy, believer. But this is kind of the system that I'm shooting here, the Eastern Axis, and then that 4-bladed Hush hybrid fletching. So anyway, as I kind of get this stuff all squared away and ready to go, just thought that would be interesting to go over. And I'm gonna fly now to Great Falls. I will hop in with the boys and we'll drive across the border and we will get to Jeff's. So should be a fun time. I'm really looking forward to this. I've never killed a mule deer before, never hunted mule deer before, so it makes it even more exciting. So here we go.
That buck we saw this morning is bigger than that buck. He's tiny.
Well, we are through day one here in Alberta, and the weather, I don't know if you can see this or not, the weather is not wanting to make it overly enjoyable the next few days. So today, the weather started to turn, so this is day one. Weather started to turn this afternoon. We did not locate a mature deer this morning, and so Maddie and I just picked a coulee, and we just stalked and still hunted, which was fantastic. I loved it. Obviously love being with my buddy, but at the same time just love the style of hunting. You just every corner you think something's gonna be around the next corner. Love that. But as the weather started to turn, oh my gosh, the wind was brutal, and then the rain was turning to ice. So like that, they're like little pinpricks. Like like we almost had to walk glassing the entire time so that we didn't get just these needles shoved in our eyes. So it was not enjoyable from that standpoint. But we are supposed to get like 5 to 8 inches tonight. So having never done this up here before, from what Jeff and Matt and Brian are saying, it makes it much more difficult. So day 2 is around the corner. We'll kind of regroup and make a game plan for tomorrow. Well, day 2 looks a little different. So see, bouncing from spot to spot here. Gotta break out the old sub gauges and Try to kill some Huns, just like these boys. Good boy, Luke.
The old 410, one shot, two bird.
Look at that old Scotch double. Looky boy, look at you. Look at you.
You're such a good boy. Come here, hey. What you need to do is take a picture of Matt holding the 3 birds and send it to BMAC.
Here, throw him up on the tailgate. I'll take a picture with Luke. I want to take
That's a happy dude.
Yes, he is.
Good boy. I gotta get out of this stuff.
Hey, everybody. See you in a bit.
Good luck, Matt.
Thank you. Josh tell you what I said? So I'm staircasing, just boop, boop, boop. I'm trying to look back up to where Josh and I had seen those deer the night before. And I'm 2 steps too late. I'm looking up, I'm like, man, I haven't looked in the bottom for a second. And I look down and I can just see his nose. And he'd just gone straight downhill, and there's a patch of red brush there. And I could just see the tip of his rack, and I could see his nose. He's just sitting here looking at me like this. I'm like, well, that's not good.
Doesn't take much, does it? Just half a step, it just opens everything up.
Yeah, so I just sat down, and he stood up and looked at me forever, and then kind of just started walking like he didn't know what I was. And I was like worried about him. I thought it was a different deer. I was hoping that the other 2 were still just right around from me. And he just walked off and just went up the bottom and went over to the other side at some buckbrush and did the same thing. He walked down and it circled back, came up, and then just stuck just his face up to look at me. It was incredible. He was like 400 yards away, and he just stuck his nose up just to look at me. I'm like, you smart bastard.
Yeah. That's what they are.
They know the game, that's for sure.
I like your sweatshirt, dude. It's warm.
Road map game. Team road map.
Yeah, and I got this one too.
Look at that, you're doubled up on road map.
Yeah, it's soft like a baby's bum.
Only the best. Yeah. Only the best, Jeffy.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize it.
Well, Maddie just put a stock on a deer. We think he was in the mid 150s, really pretty 4x4. And unfortunately, he got up and moved down into kind of the deep part of that coulee as he was getting up there. So no play. The wind was bad to kind of try to bounce up around him, so he's backing out. And we are going to warm up a little bit, and then I think we're going to go after the big boy. Make up a game plan here. We just got official clearance from the landowner that we are good to go. So here we go. So I'm currently 120 yards from this deer with no play. He's bedded down in the open. I have the wind right, but I've got nowhere that I can back up and get into. He's so pretty though. One thing I can do is hang here and hope that he comes this way when he does get up. We'll see. Well, just got back in and close. I was probably 120 yards or so from him. I tried to take, some videos and stuff, but I wanted to be really still because I was not totally concealed. I had a couple little tiny little bushes in front of me that I was using for cover, but Matt ended up backing out, going all the way around, and putting a stalk on, and he got within probably 120 yards himself, but there was a doe between he and the buck that got up and bumped him. And good news is it didn't look like he knew what was going on. He just ran because something happened with the doe, and we actually watched him bed again. So we backed out. It was cold. I am frozen. As you can imagine, I think it was like 8 degrees, most of the day today. And but it was just awesome to see deer of that caliber that close. Is it's a special thing, something I'm very thankful you'd have the opportunity to do, because I don't think many people get the opportunity to do that, and it's special. I mean, deer of that caliber, there's just something different about them. I talked about it, with Lake 10, and what made that so special, for me chasing him was that caliber of deer. They move different, they act different, their presence is different. I mean, just everything about them. So, gonna kind of regroup, thaw out a little bit. I'm gonna hop in the shower and try to thaw out, and then make a game plan for tomorrow. But get something to eat first because we're hungry. It was a great day, but it was cold, and the snow, although it's making it easier to spot them, is also making it much more difficult for us to get close. I mean, like close the gap close. So we'll see. Here's the day. Let's see, this was day 3, so here's to day 4.
Here we go, day 4. Who'd have thought? More snow.
Can't catch a break. Keeps friggin' snowing.
Unreal.
So we have a pretty good buck bedded. Matt and I are gonna go make a move. It is freezing. Here's the bed.
40. This is his bed. See where his chin was sitting
Yeah.
where he was sleeping?
Right here.
See that rock?
Chin.
That's where we were. That highest rock in the middle. next
Right
to
there.
the snow. Unreal, dude. Dude,
Oh,
I've been a part of some cool stuff, Josh. That was top tier, homie.
oh man.
It might be in him.
Well, it was frontal.
And it looked, I mean, it caught him off on the right side.
Yep.
It was just off on his right
Yep.
side of his chest. But
Well,
man,
you said aim for the exit hole, which is exactly what I did.
yeah, you stroked him, buddy. Dude, I'm having an adrenal overload. I didn't even do it. Dude.
Oh, dude.
Dude, that's a nice buck too, man. That left horn's money. He died so fast.
Oh,
I mean, that wasn't 5 seconds that we ran there, and he was tipped over and died.
it just goes to show you when you can see in the open like this versus whitetail hunting. You know, whitetail, they're gone, and then it's just the weight. You know, where
Yeah.
this is just fun to see it.
Yeah, to watch that deer roll over and die, dude. He was dead on his feet.
Try calling Jeff again. Maybe he's looking. Is Jeff way up
You
there?
gotta be able to see the deer laying there, dead.
I would hope.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, that was some top pin action, buddy.
Was that the same buck? To me, it looked bigger, but I was looking at him from behind, kind of.
It's a nice deer, dude. It's a nice big 4-point. There was.
Was he the one that you were on? It wasn't the one you were on earlier, was it?
I have no idea. We'll see if he's got eye guards, but it's a really handsome deer, dude. I mean, we drew, stood up, and saw the lower bucks, and we couldn't see him because his head was so low. And I'm like, well, dude, when I hit them, they were 40. And we stood, and I was like, well, dude, he let down. I'm like, we got to draw now. This wind's getting pretty finicky, and we got to go. So we drew, and we just stood up together, and I looked down, and I saw the buck, and I just said 20. And he put his 20 pin on him and just front stuffed him. It was legit.
Looking at him, man, it's just like, yeah.
Dude, I mean, what a stock, man. So cool. I'm just curious on broadhead performance and stuff like that. So always just curious, you know?
The archery nerd is coming out in him.
Yeah, there's blood right there. Yeah, he was bleeding immediately.
Yep.
Well, I didn't know there were 2 other bucks below him. When you're like, he's the highest buck, I'm like, well, he's the only buck.
Yeah,
Like, what are you
right.
talking about? I mean, there was a chance. The way they were stacked up, I mean, it was dominoes. It was like, it was a good thing we didn't shoot embedded. I mean, you just risk shooting one of those smaller deer. But he stood up and faced us, and Josh just put it right. Oh, dude, textbook.
Hey, Josh, well done, brother.
Thanks, buddy. That was absolutely epic, man. To crawl within.
Done well. I'm proud of you, brother.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Bro, that was,
He was close.
I'm having adrenal overload. I didn't even dump the string. That was exciting.
It's been a tough week. It's been a tough week, and that is so freaking awesome. That's just so awesome.
That is a big deer,
An
man.
accomplishment times 10 of what it usually is out here because of the conditions.
100%. Josh is the man.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Josh is the man.
Dude, yeah, that was the biggest team effort that I've ever been a part of, man.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That was great.
That's what you got to do on these guys, man. It's just like, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to.
My fingers are cold. I'm gonna go look at this deer and start dragging it to you.
Hey, do some good pictures on right where it's at, and then we'll do some with Matt when we get it to the fence.
Yep, we'll do that. We'll take a bunch of pics.
All right, man.
Okay, love you, bye.
So our adrenaline is just finally coming down. So I just killed my first mule deer, and it was an epic stalk. So we glassed him from way over here, and that wind is doing this. So we came all the way around. If you can see that pump, that was a marker for us. And we got back here, and we literally just hands and knees the whole way, inch by inch, and we got to a point that we could see. We only thought there was one buck, and then we got to a point we could see two littler bucks, and we knew he was close. So we got to the edge, and Maddie, seasoned pro here with the muleys, coached me the whole way. He's like, all right, man, I think we just gotta draw. And we just stood up together, and he ranged him, and he stood up and he just said 20. And from that point after that, it's just a blur.
I didn't range, I just said 20. I knew the other deer were at 40 when we first stood up.
So you didn't even range it?
No! hey, seasoned. Do you hear what he said? I'm a seasoned bow hunter.
That's right. Let her fly. And then it was, from that point forward, it was just pure adrenaline. So we're gonna go check this deer out. But what's so neat about this compared to whitetail hunting is that stalk, feature of, seeing them making the move, instead of sitting, and which I love. I love my whitetail, but this was an adrenaline rush at a different level for sure. So
to watch that deer, I mean, that deer's, he's probably what, 120 yards maybe, 150 from where he got shot, and just top pin right on the inside. He's slightly quartering to about like this, and boom,
yeah,
just swallowed it. That was epic.
Man, what's so neat about this is that, frontal shot. So this is now the second deer that so my Missouri buck, I shot a hard quarter two, which I've never taken that shot. And this was a frontal shot. I've never taken that shot. And, but just with learning, like, these guys have taught me so much about just archery equipment in general, and this Valkyrie system, and how you can just punch through, and how effective of a shot that is. I mean, that is an extremely lethal shot, as you can see. I mean, 150 yards.
You turn around and point out the deer to
Yeah,
me yet?
yeah. Here, we'll try to flip it around. So I can't zoom in too much, but he is right
See the extra
there.
hole, so I think it's sitting probably in his backside hip, because I heard a crack.
Well, how about let's go find out?
Yeah, let's find out.
Let's go find out. The Hoyt eats again. Love it.
And the walk.
Man, it's so cold. The whole ring around my neck gator's completely
I
frozen.
saw you wiping off your eyelashes before you.
I was trying to wink them off at you most of the time. Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's probably about 5 degrees right now. Got the full puffy units on.
He looks like a really good deer from here.
It is a really good deer, Josh. He's probably
All their beds.
a couple others.
This is an area that we glassed every single day. Every day we glass this.
I stalked a buck. One more draw over that was smaller than this one, and ended up being pretty good because there was a deer in this bed the first time I came in, and so we wanted to check that, and sure enough there was another bed in there, and that's actually why we ended up looping up on top, and we just didn't want to get seen. Paid off.
He's got a beam, huh?
Yeah.
Whew.
He ain't ugly.
I just think it is so neat to have been able to watch him go and watch the whole thing happen. It's
Yeah.
so different from being in the woods.
I'm
Whitetail
just trying to
hunting.
look at his. Man, a lesser athlete would have. The interesting thing is there isn't a ton of blood. There was blood initially at the where he shot him.
Yep, at impact.
At impact, but not a lot of blood. Oh, there's some. Yeah, there's some here. Dude, great deer, Josh.
Pretty deer, man. Pretty deer.
Is that the broadhead sticking up out of his hide there? Poking up on the side? Probably.
This guy.
Dude, that is the same buck. Look at those eye guards, dude. That's the same
Look at
buck
that,
I
dude.
stalked.
Look at that.
What a freaking deer. Scoot back so you can see him better.
He's even got a little velvet left on him.
Dude, those eye guards are so legit. Look at those little like dragon flares.
Love
And
that
just
character,
symmetrical
man.
as heck.
Love that character.
All frosted up, little velvet on his antlers still.
Awesome, dude. Absolutely epic.
Oh, way to go, dude. Proud of you. Unreal.
The best part about it is my boy was with me. I love that.
So grateful,
That
man.
memory we'll have forever, dude.
What a epic deer.
So awesome. All right, so to show you kind of that Valkyrie system. So remember, we were up on top. We were shooting down. Entrance. Exit.
Aim for your exit hole.
Aim. So the two things that Maddie said was, one, aim for your exit hole, and two, it'll go coast to coast, which is exactly what it did. It's
That
legit,
deer,
man.
Oh my gosh, insane.
Legit.
Perfect
All right.
shot. Perfect.
What do you think? Shoot it. Hold up.
Yeah, yeah. Here, back of those broadheads are sharp too. Just don't stick it.
Yeah,
in.
I'm not gonna stick it in your leg. I could even reuse the arrow. Look at that. Dang, man.
These are sharp, man. Can't be mad at that.
So, right, so put it on one side and then fold it over on itself and you're good. I mean, you look good, dude. Don't get me wrong. Mule, yeah! So he's been hovering in this valley for
I think it's just
a week or more. So,
But there's so many little nooks and crannies right here that you don't see from the road. There's enough buckbrush up through there and stuff, you can't see it. That's what makes it fun. It does. Yeah, the deer gets
See the bedding? Just put it right there. That's the hill. We came over. Shot him there.
yeah.
And he ran. And then right there.
Keep him going.
So welcome to Jeff's hotel room. This is our current situation.
Heck yeah, we're just working on dinner.
Oh gosh. That's one way to do it when it's cold outside. right, so we're back in the good old US of A. We're all checked in. And we just got to get to Great Falls, and I got to figure out how I'm going to get this rack home because I've never flown with antlers before, but we're going to figure that out. So the adventure continues, but I'm ready to be home. All right, so we're at Home Depot, and what we're trying to do here is try to find some protective wrapping that we can put around the rack. I've never flown with the rack before, but that's where it's great to have these guys. They're with me because they've done this a bunch, and so they do a lot of traveling, so they know exactly what they're looking for. So we're gonna go get these supplies and get them all wrapped up and prepared for an early flight home tomorrow.
So whatever the cheap stuff is, that's too nice. One of those, dude. That's all we need.
Sure it's gonna fit? I mean, do you see the mass on him?
Just for the tip, right? Just the tip.
Good stuff.
So yeah, do this, and then we need whatever the moving supplies are. They have like shrink wrap and bubble wrap. I think we'd be pretty dialed then. Pretty dialed.
All right, so I think we have this solution here. So we also have the cape and the meat to think about here. So we have our rack protection here. And we think everything's gonna fit in here, but we'll find out when we get into the parking lot. So let's go.
Bag secured. Or a bin.
I'm sitting here reflecting on this week and how this whole thing has gone, and I just can't help but smile. This is something I've literally dreamt about since I was a kid, being able to come out west with my bow and hunt in the western way, the spot and stalk. And there's always so much that intrigued me about it, and now of course I'm hooked. I mean, this is something that was extremely rewarding, but it's a way that I love to hunt. And so but more than that, it's more than, the harvest was certainly, a pinnacle, for me as far as, this week. But, the people that I was here with, people that were so special, are so special, to me in my life. It's a big part of this to me, being able to share that stock with Matt, who's, become a great friend of mine, and then be able to share that excitement with Brian, who's another, very dear friend of mine. And, Jeff Jeff started as a client, and he's become a great friend. And so the relationships, and that's just kind of a common trend, it seems like, in my life that I'm fortunate to have, is just these great people that are brought into my life, and I'm able to stay surrounded with them. So it's a really special, really special thing, and something I will never take for granted. But this is something that this will not be the last time. This is something I'm going to look forward to, and continuing to learn, continuing to get better, and something that I will be back and doing. So as I get onto this flight, it's a fun thing to reflect back on and appreciate. Never take these things for granted. I'm very blessed to be here, very blessed to have the opportunity, and look forward to hopefully another go at this. Now I get to go home to the family, and that's always a fun part of this to me too, is getting to go back and share these stories, and share the meal from the harvest with my family. So really special all the way around. So I'm currently having a little mini heart attack because nobody can tell me where my bin with my rack and cape and meat are, and everything else came, and on my app says it was delivered to a different carousel, and it is not there. So a little concerned at this point. I have no idea why this is here in the middle of the airport, away from everybody. But here it is. That is a relief because I was getting very concerned for a minute. So we found it.